Hi friends. So you might be wondering why I'm coming to you on video. Two reasons. Number one, I was asked about my story about being banned from England. So I'm going to tell you that story. There's a car next to me. So I have thought for a long time, one moment I'm going to start my car. So anyway, I have thought for a long time it'd be fun to have a YouTube video series, but I thought, I don't really feel like I'm interesting enough. I don't know that I have a lot of things to say or that anybody really cares, but sometimes you just got to do stuff because you feel like it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to call this YouTube series, I forgot the name. I am going to call this YouTube series Curiosities in the Car with Claire. So if you have questions that you've been just dying to ask me, maybe you just want to know my favorite restaurant in the city. Maybe you want to ask me about my adoption story or about something else you've been curious about. Maybe you just want to know my thoughts on global warming. Sorry, I'm tired. Global warming. I don't know what my thoughts are on global warming, but I will answer your question. If you want to be anonymous, I'm in a show right now. Sweeney Todd at Footlight. Come see it. It's a water sport singing. Drink your water. If you want to be anonymous, slide into my DMs and send me your question there. If you want to be anonymous from me, I can't help you. I digress. Here is the England story as I'm driving Curiosities in the Car with Claire. Shortly after 9/11. Well, let me back up a little bit. I fell in love with a man from England. His name was Steve. And Steve, I actually don't know where I'm going. How do I get home? Okay, we're back. And now that I know where I'm going. So, I met a man named Steve. Fell in love with him. He lived in England. And I decided to move to England for 6 months to get to know him better and to decide if this was something that I wanted to pursue. I lived with him for 6 months and I got to know his family, I got to know him better, fell deeper in love, and decided that this was the guy that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. So I stayed for the 6 months that my visa allowed. I traveled back home. He came to stay with me for a little while. And then after that, we decided I was going to head back to England for good. I was going to marry him. I was going to live with him. The end. I packed my things. I headed to England. Excuse me. I headed to England on a plane. 14 hours or something ridiculous like that. I arrived at the airport at customs. They took one look at my passport and decided that I was a threat to their country. Okay, maybe not a threat to their country, but they decided that I was not going to be able to enter. They stuck me in a small room with cameras pointed at me. They would not let me make a phone call. They would not let me call my father, who I told them was an attorney, even though he was an adoption attorney, but they wouldn't let me make phone calls. They searched my bags. They would not let me enter the country, and they told me that I would have to go straight home. So 14 hours on a plane, to be in a room, to be turned around and sent back to the US of A. It turns out the first time that I went to England, I took this really funny way because it was a lot cheaper. So I switched planes twice in Ireland. I didn't actually enter Ireland, I just switched planes. So when I switched planes in Ireland, they stamped my passport like I was staying in Ireland, which I wasn't supposed to have done. Or at least this is my understanding. That stamp shaved 3 months off of my 6-month visa, and I didn't know it. So, for 3 months, I was an illegal alien, friends. An illegal alien. And I didn't know it. And any amount of pleading and crying and begging did not matter to them. They wanted me out of their country. So, that was the end of that. I was banned from the country for 10 years. I received an official letter from the Queen herself. Probably not actually from the Queen, but from her people. And was told, thank you very much, you're adorable, we love you, do not re-enter our country. So that is my story. Steve and I did not last. We broke up, obviously. But yeah, that's the story. So let this be a lesson to you, friends. I don't actually know what the lesson is here. Don't stamp your passport incorrectly? I don't know. I got nothing better than that. I wish I could tell you it was some really cool, like, drug bust or something, but I am a rule follower. Anyway, that is my tragic love story. What? Did anybody else hear that? Anyway, that's my story. If you have any questions for me, please post them down below. I would love to do little videos like this. It's super fun for me. I love you all. You are the wind beneath my wings.